up, people? It's your girl Adiola. We're starting today with the good news. Did you guys hear that Zamfara State in Nigeria is cancelling the outrageous retirement packages that they have for their former governors and deputy governors? I'm like, oh well. So the Zamfara House of Assembly has voted to abolish the law that allowed the payment of pension and other ridiculous allowances to their former governors and their deputies. This happened after a small drama. You guys will not believe this, but the former governor, that is Abdulaziz Yari, you guys remember him? My father. The man wrote a letter to the state government that his 10 million monthly upkeep had not been paid for some months. I was like, Jesus, 10 million naira per month just for upkeep. The devil is a liar. Do you know that 10 million is like $26,000 per month? Add that together, that's 120 million naira in a year, which is $315,000 just because he's a former governor. I'm like, what the heck? And this is different from other benefits that they get. Now, to put this in perspective, I said, why not take a look at like salaries and pensions of former governors and governors in America? Although I shouldn't be comparing Nigeria with America because the size of the economy is different. In fact, the size of the economy of just one state in the US is bigger than that of Nigeria as a country. So I should not even be comparing them. And keep in mind that in the UK, their officials get paid even much less than the American officials get paid as pension. So let's take a look at salaries and pensions of governors in America. Now, the annual salary differs by state because each state is autonomous, so they have their own rate state by state, but it ranges from $70,000 to $201,000 per year. Maine pays the lowest to their governors. They pay $70,000 per year. That is 27 million naira per year, the entire year. Now, California is the highest. They pay their governors $201,680 per year. That is about 77 million naira per year. Now, ladies and gentlemen, even the pension of former governor of Zamfara State is higher than the salary of the highest paid governor in America. Just put two and two together. Now, one thing to keep in mind though is that in America, some states have no limitation when it comes to the number of terms that a governor can serve. So states like Connecticut, Iowa, Idaho, Illinois, Massachusetts, Minnesota, New York, Texas, Washington, and so on and so forth. So if people keep voting for him more, they can serve even 10 terms if they want. But there are states where you can only serve 2 terms at a time. Even if you want to contest again after some years, you have to step down first. So when it comes to governor's pension in America, just as the salaries are different, the pensions are also different. In the state of California, for example, a former governor gets paid about $5,000 for every year that he served in office. And since the maximum serve limit in California is 2 terms, that is 8 years, that means a governor can only get up to $40,000 per year as his pension in California. How much is that in naira? That's about 15 million naira. When Zamfara governor was collecting 10 million every month. You see what I'm saying? Now, according to lawmakers in Zamfara State, the pension of all their former governors is costing them more than 700 million naira every year. Now they are happy that they can now use that money to actually develop Zamfara State and help its economy. I'm like, how have they been doing it? Now the good news is Kwara State decided to follow suit. I'm like, oh shit, as in also get. In Kwara State, a former governor is entitled to pension for life, which is an equivalent of the annual basic salary of the incumbent. So whoever comes in after him or her, they get the same salary as the governor. As in, on top of that, they get furnished 5-bedroom duplex, 300% of their basic salary for furniture allowance, which is replaceable every 4 years, free medical treatment for the governor and the deputy governor and their immediate families, even if they have to go abroad, car maintenance fee, drivers, house maintenance fee, and 2 cars for the governor, in addition to 1 escort vehicle to be replaced every 3 years. Kwara State, as a clear and one, that's just ridiculous. The Kwara State pension law also provides former governors and deputy governors domestic staff, including cook, steward, gardener, and 2 other domestic staff, and all these people pensionable. So not only is the state paying pension to the governor and the deputy governor, the state will also be paying pension to these domestic workers whenever they retire. Let that sink in for a minute. Also, a former governor in Kwara State is entitled to 2 SSS details and 1 female officer, in addition to 8 policemen. I don't know why there has to be a woman in there. While the deputy governor is also entitled to 1 SSS detail in addition to 2 policemen. And I'm just like, no wonder Kwara State is where it has been this whole time. Now, what you need to also keep keep in mind is that in Nigeria, so many of our former governors are doing what we call double dipping. They are dipping in several places. While they are collecting pension, which is basically their former salary and all kinds of benefits, they are now either lawmakers collecting full salary and allowances of a lawmaker at the same time that they are collecting their pension, or they are now ministers collecting salaries of minister while collecting pension. Either way, many of them are collecting salaries and pensions at the same time, is what I'm trying to say. Just imagine former governor of Kwara State, Bukola Saraki, for example, collecting all these benefits that I just mentioned while serving as the president of the Senate. So I'm really happy that Kwara State governor has also decided to scrap these pension laws, but we are still waiting to see if the lawmakers in Kwara State will pass this amendment. It's not enough to say you want to do it, they really have to actually follow through. So I was also really happy when I saw that the governor of Lagos State, Sanwo-Olu, had promised to do the same thing in Lagos. I'm like, what a cool project. And just like Kwara State, we're waiting to see if the lawmakers in Lagos will actually follow through. In Lagos State, a former governor and his deputy gets paid the basic salary of whoever comes in after them, which is about 7.7 million per month, and then one residential house. If a governor served 2 terms, he gets another residential house at the Federal Capital Territory, that is in Abuja, and then they get 6 new cars every 3 years. How does that even make sense? 6 cars every 3 years. They get free health care for themselves and their family members. This includes if they go abroad for treatment. It doesn't matter which country they are going to. They will pay cash with your money. Taxpayers' money, they go and pay cash abroad. They get furniture allowance, which is 300% of their annual basic salary, so about 23.3 million naira. They get house maintenance allowance, which is 10% of their basic salary, so 778,000 naira. They also get utility allowance, which is 20% of their salary, so that's 1.5 million. They get car maintenance allowance, 30% of their annual salary, that is 2.3 million. Entertainment allowance, this is former governor, and that is 10% of their basic salary, 778,000. They get personal assistants who will earn 25% of whatever the governor's annual basic salary is, that is 1.9 million. And then they get 8 policemen, 2 DSS details attached to the governor for the rest of his life. Tell me, how is Nigeria supposed to develop with these politicians robbing us point blank? I think that's more than enough for you to digest in one day, don't you think so? Because the reality is, this just shows you how our politicians are milking the country dry. These same governors will still owe salaries of teachers, by the way, and doctors. You know, I mean, we've not even started on lawmakers. That's for another day. Briefly, let me say that Nigerian governors and former governors, they get paid not just more than what American governors and former American governors get paid, but they also get paid more than what American presidents and former presidents get paid. Do you know that an American president earns $400,000 in a year? That is about 152 million naira. But I mean, just the security vote alone of some of the governors that we have in Nigeria is way more than that every month. By the time you now calculate their salary and all these ridiculous allowances, you know they get paid more than American presidents. In America, former presidents also get a pension of $219,200 every year, and they must pay taxes on that pension. That is 83.5 million naira. But it's not just pensions that they get. Ex-presidents in America also get lifetime Secret Service protection. They get medical treatment at military hospitals, but they have to pay for their insurance, their health insurance. They are also entitled to hire private staff, but taxpayers would only pay an annualized total of $150,000 as salary for their staff, and that will only last for the first 2.5 years. After that, taxpayers will only pay $96,000 yearly for their staff. And then they get transition funds, and these funds last for 7 months. It's supposed to cover their new office space, staff compensation, communication services, printing and postage, but it's just for the first 7 months. So that's the benefit of a former American president. For real, Nigerians need to wake up and realize that what we have is mostly criminals in office. Even after they leave, they go to another office, they are still robbing us. So my question to you is, do you know how much your governor and your former governors are getting in your state? Do you know all the allowances they're getting? Let me know in the comment section. You guys know I don't know much. Guess what? I'm just keeping it real. So, since we've been talking about money, this is an ad. Please move closer. This is especially for my sisters. I'm sorry, but I strongly believe that a woman must have an alternative source of income. A woman must have an investment. I don't care whether men will pay attention to this. I already know that they will. But I feel like a lot of women don't pay attention to this. I've been talking about real estate on this show for so long, and the best part is the person that whom I've been advertising for is a woman. I am so excited to tell you guys that those who patronize Madam Grace Ofrewen, their investment has now appreciated by 50% in 9 months. As said, what? And she's projecting that it would actually appreciate by 100% in the next 3 months. I don't understand. So I asked her, I'm like, how is this happening? And she said that the price of lands in that area has recently gone up because the government is going after all those whose properties were not approved by the government. So those that didn't have the necessary approvals, their houses are being marked for demarcation. So everybody else who have authentic paperwork for their land and their properties in that area, they have now increased their prices. They've jacked it up. And you know, she has authentic papers, as you guys know. So she's getting high offers from those who desperately want to buy land from her. So if you bought land from Grace Ofure when I talked about her story, make sure that you call her or email her to ask about what your land is now worth just in time for Christmas. You know, in April of this year, 450 square meter was selling for 5.5 million naira. Guess how much it is now? 9.9 million. But if I were you, I would leave it to appreciate even more. So these are the new prices. Do you know that some people are already living in their homes which they built after buying the land from her just because they heard about it on my show? Yeah. Remember that there's already water and electricity in that area, so it's very easy for people to start living there. And also all the lands that she's selling are inside an estate, so you already have people living in there. So that's why it's easy for people to build and move into the land that they bought from her. And now I can hear some people saying, wow, that they wish that they patronized her then. I'm like, I know, you should have. But you know, it's not too late. Yes, it's not too late because the price will keep going up. The good news though is that Auntie Grace is willing to give a 10% discount to the first 10 people that comes through me to buy land. Just the first 10 people. I'm like, how can you do that? I told her, it's not fair. I said, everybody else that came through me, they got 5%. Why are you not doing 10% for, But then she said it's just for the first 10 people. I'm like, okay. So just the first 10 people, you know, no vex if you call and they said they already have more than 10 people. But just call her and tell her that you're from Adeola Fayong. And now for those who said that they prefer to buy on mainland, guess what? Auntie Grace has partnered with Lagos State to acquire a new housing project right at the center of Lagos mainland in Surulere. Over 100 units of 2 to 3 bedroom apartments, flats. I'm sorry that there's no 10% discount on the apartments in Surulere, but the 5% discount still stands for the apartment in Surulere if you tell her that you're from me. So these are the prices. 2 bedrooms, 28 million naira. 3 bedrooms, 45 million naira. It's a lot of money for somebody like me, but I know that there are people who have that kind of money and everybody that comes through me gets a 5% discount. Now, do not forget that even if you're not ready to buy land or apartment or you don't have the money, but you just want to know about real estate in Nigeria, you don't even need to be living in Nigeria. It doesn't matter where you're living in the world. Grace Ofure is offering an online investment jumpstart class. She will teach you how to get the best real estate investment deals in Nigeria, the indicators on the right locations, and fundraising strategies, and so on and so forth. The cost of that course is $100, but once again, you get a 5% discount if you tell her that you're coming through me. So if you're yet to, make sure that you patronize Grace Ofure, especially as she's doing the 10% discount for the first 10 people.
Right behind me is the first entrance to the perfect resident estate. And now we just entered into the second gate. A lot of expatriates that work from Dangote Refinery, which you can find out for yourself, live in these high rises. The reason is because this place is super secured. So this estate will continue to appreciate. As you can see, men at work, we are already decking. All this that is under construction is fully sold out. I just wanted to show you also the depth of our bungalows. You won't believe that all of this raft is for bungalows. That's our neighbor, one of the people that came through Adeola. Thanks to Adeola, he's already living there. You can see the DSTV. That's to tell you that the person is already living there. Why was it possible for him to live? Because we have lights and we have water, and also it's secured. We'll work with you to ensure that you become a land or a house owner in this prestigious estate. God bless you with good.
Alright y'all, it's been real and I'm keeping it right up in here. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, and if you're yet to subscribe, we've been begging you to press the subscribe button. Until next time, I'ma see y'all later. Peace out.